And we're back with this riveting matchup between Splyce and the Immortals. It's 14-1 right now in the favor of Splyce. So definitely not the expected result, but with Splyce having this new meta that they brought to the table, things were a little bit rough for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is Counter-Strike, right? So we know that the game is never over until it's over. So another half, you know, who knows? Maybe they turn up on the T side. It all just falls into place. I think it's good though that Splyce got to start a T side, control the time. I feel like CT side is much more of a nightmare. I don't know. I feel like you got a whole bunch of people coming at you, teleporting on the T side. There might be some room for some wonky entries, but in this situation, because if you're like constantly ahead of your model running into a site, then maybe you could be annoying to shoot at. I don't know.
Just for clarification, in case anyone has not already realized this or was not here when we showed it earlier, the Immortals are currently playing from Brazil, so they're all playing with like 175 or more ping. I think the worst is at like 250 right now, so obviously nearly unplayable. They're trying their best. They've tried some interesting cheese buys with mag 7s and 5 ops, but obviously none of that has really worked out for them except for one round that they won over the course of that half. You
know, it was really funny. There was the arms deal update back in 2013 when they introduced skins. And there was this whole update, and before that there were no Brazilian matchmaking servers, and people would always complain because obviously some of the Brazilians wouldn't speak English, and they had really high ping, so it's just unfun for everybody, and people complained about that for like an entire year. And the arms deal update came out introducing skins and all this new cool stuff, and at the very bottom of the update in the last line it said added matchmaking servers in Brazil, and everybody in the thread was just talking about that. That was the focal point of the update.
It's hilarious.
But you can imagine why. You look at this game and you see that they have just unplayable ping, man. A 5 deagles. Yes,
just keeping the experiment going. As they're going to try this out.
Yeah, these guys are trailblazers, man. They're...
and they get the opening kill, too.
How?
So that's Drone, I think, over-peeking the tunnel, giving ZQK the angle. Again, reminder, they're trying to do this with 200 ping or more in most cases here. So Roka is, actually, I'm amazed he was allowed to stand out in the open that long and not get instantly killed. He will go down, and Steel not only takes him out, but he's also found Roka too. So now they've got the man advantage. Semphis, they pushed into a corner here at Ivy, and he's also been tagged by the Deagle. Steel goes in, takes him down. It's just Davey, and Steel's gonna kill him too. So the Immortals will actually win the pistol in the second half with 5 Deagles being bought up.
Dare I say it? I think that was a clippable round. I think that he might be able to clip that and put that in a frag movie. 4K, those 2 first one deags are pretty sick. I mean, I think production is kind of done with this game, but I feel like we should have got a replay on that. Pretty insane, maybe.
So well done by the Immortals, and specifically Steel, who gets 4 of those kills in that round. The usual 4 spy is still going to be bought up by Splyce. And, well, it's not going too well. Drone is the only one that gets a kill on that push in the back box cells there. It was 3 to 4. Their players try to push into it. It does not go too good. But at least they're getting somewhat consistent trades. Roka specifically has already picked up 2 kills on the scout. And is going to look for potentially 1 to 2 more if he can find them from within the site. We'll see here in a second. The bomb is going to go down on the ground. Oh, Roka nicely done. Walks out, instantly kills Horvey. Tries to quick scope as well in SHZ and even hits the shot, but it's not a headshot. So that is going to give the round to SHZ.
The 1v1 by SHC, it was clutch. Nice round from Roka. And that was a pretty good spray down as well. Steel definitely doesn't want to roll over and die. I mean, people still are referencing stats for the season and stuff, and all this adds up. So, whatever, get your ADR in.
Get it all added up. But for Splyce, again, 4 spy from them, which is actually a bit surprising. They 4 spot here instead of just waiting, but I think they realized they got close enough in the last round, so they'll make another attempt at it, but it doesn't start off too good. Immortals get the first kill right outside of T-Con here, catching Drone, trying to push inside. Mitchell next up to bat, but already losing most of their players. It's not looking good. Here come the trades, though. 1 and, not 2 from Mitch. Runs out of ammo, so he's not going to be able to get that second kill. He does do great damage to him, however, SHZ dropping down. It's definitely a lengthy spray, but it gets the job done, taking down Semphis. Only Davey left, trying to clutch a 1v3, and there's the first kill. He's also got Horvey incredibly low from Mitch earlier. He can take him out. It's just one single 1v1 he's going to win. Wow, he's taking a lot of damage trying to crawl through here, and now All of a sudden, he's gone through the smoke of death. Went from 100 HP to 3 HP in a matter of seconds there, just due to random spam. And Destiny is going to be the one that takes him down, securing a 4th round for the Immortals.
I told you, man. New half, new Immortals. We got a game on our hands. Let's get it together, boys.
What if they all just come back right now? Just 16-14 them?
It's already in progress.
That would be even better than just the chaos in the first half that we had. So let's see. Splyce finally calling for an eco here. It's going to be all the Eagles, though.
The coveted deco.
Absolutely. They're going to try to copy the success of Immortals in the pistol round here. But so far, not panning out too great. Already losing one of their players. Tagging back a little bit here. You can see SHZ, Destiny, and Steel getting hit by it. Drone picks up the first kill for them. But trades are definitely favoring Immortals right now as they get 3 additional kills. Only Drone left alive. Drone going to try to do some work outside of Ivy, but Steel promptly knocks him out and secures a 5th round for the Immortals.
Potential for a bite. They've got the money to do it. Up on Sempis. Everyone's got rifles. Apart from this is going to be a funny death segment. This is going to be a great death segment.
Eric's ready.
That's what I meant to Bears. It's going to be a great death segment.
Well, I bet you they have some replays, too, from the first half.
Oh, yeah. I wonder what rounds they're going to reference.
What are we? Which 5-up round will they take a look at is the real question. Immortals will go for another standard outside execute here, but they're not even going to delay it at all. They just pop smokes off within the first few seconds. Where did this one go?
I didn't even know this existed.
What is that area supposed to be?
But it is smoked.
Yeah. Destiny and Drone will trade blows at the start of the round here, and Immortals are being held back slightly. Drone continuing to spam in there. They'll be able to only get that kill onto ZQK before falling to SHZ, and this pushes back the rest of Splyce in general here. All of them being forced away primarily to Ivy, but we have one guy rotating in from Z. He's not going to be ready for Horvey, who peeks him, however. That leads to the death of Davey. Only Semphis and Mitch left standing, but Semphis will be able to do some damage from the back lane. Finds SHZ. Has not seen the guy that crept up to the side of the bomb train just yet. He's going to continue that quest to try and find Semphis and easily take him down, as Mitch also looks for a flank here. He's kind of lost the trail on Semphis, though. But I believe he'll check this corner. And nope, there you go. There's the telltale sign. He's got to be careful. Oh, no. Hello. Just moves in there and straight up 3-click Semphis. Brings it down to a 1v1. Oh, and where is Mitch at this point? I think he's ladder room, and yes, he's going to be in the position to find Horvey and take him down. Good adjustment from Mitch, but he'll have to excuse us.
By the way, that's not something you do in a regular
match. No, not at all.
He knows that he's risking actually just getting offed by accident here. Just comes in with a wide strafe. Just terrorizes
brutalizes him.
Like a raptor in Jurassic Park.
So that is going to reduce the buy from the Immortals down to a couple pistols again, along with the AKs, of course, that they managed to buy up. But Splyce having an arguably more interesting buy, specifically when you look at Semphis there. We've got the Bison, which is not something you see really often at all. It's been like 3 months since I've seen someone buy this thing. And it's going to work! Walks up, gets a quick 2 kills, confirms ladder control. The last 3 on Immortals, probably just going to rush out T-Con here. One's dead, the other 2 stuck behind the lines. They got 1 trade kill as ZQK went up towards the bathroom, but this is pretty much over, guys. Unfortunate to say, but this is our first match, apparently. ZQK almost has a nice spam down, but can only get 1 additional kill, and there you have it. Splyce will take control. Took him a little bit, obviously, as that second half starts off in favor for the Immortals when they pick up the pistol on 5 Deagles and manage to chain together at least a few more rounds after that due to Splyce force playing, but eventually, to no one's surprise, after we saw it happen in the first half, Splyce do eventually close out.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous game. It's fortunately for Splyce, these matches count just as much as any other. And if this means that they avoid getting regulated, they'll take it. So, I mean, congratulations to Splyce, I guess. And they got 1 more map as well.
Yep. So, with that said, we can take it over to the analyst desk and see their attempt at breaking this down. Have fun, gentlemen.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Blue. We're going to get right into that, actually, right away. And ultimately, where can we start? Because I believe there isn't a whole lot of avenues to attack this thing on.
Well, for one, I like to say Immortals, awesome teamwork. They had 5 Deagles, 5 Alps, 5 shotguns. Showed that, you know, they're the better teamworking team than Team Splyce.
Yeah, it's actually really impressive to see it when a team is like all on the same page, firing on all cylinders. They know what the game plan is. 5 ops. It was just a lot of innovation coming out from Zach and the Immortals side in terms of like economic, management, going with the 5-op, the 5-mag-7. Never seen it before, and they're just showing that all guns are viable in this game.
All guns are viable weapons to assault the enemy with. Now, I'm going to ask you straight up, James. In between segments while we're watching the game, you'd spoke highly of a player you think that sticks out to you from this matchup.
Yeah, so I think probably Peacemaker was the impact player of the game. Just really came in a lot there and showed some interesting setups and just basically coached them to victory. So it was really impressive.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, they were able to string together a series of rounds. I don't recall there being a victory, but it was, it was a close game. In
all seriousness, no, they're probably playing from Brazil because they had that WESG quali, and they're going through the Brazilian qualies, and they actually lost to Team 1, who was in the ESCA MDL Global Challenge this last month. So Immortals having some rough times.
200 ping. I mean, what? Like, what did you say? How would you play against a top player with 250 ping?
How much did Optic have? They had like 120 to 130, right? So there was a good 70, 80 less than Immortals were experiencing today.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. It's ping. Get out of here.
It's the ping. We're going to go ahead and shift the page because there isn't a whole lot that we can take away from such a setting in terms of competitive play. But we will be going into Cbble next. That will be the next map here between the Splyce and Immortals. Excuse me, the Immortals and Splyce, not, Either way, dare I say, I'm going to go on a limb here. Can we expect more of the same?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like the only chance they have of getting maybe like double-digit rounds, Immortals that is if they start T-side, because if you're peeking, you usually, like with high ping, you want to be the guy moving and peeking. You don't want to be holding an angle like a CT. And if they just do explosive strats out drop and long B.
And tasers.
So, it would be interesting to watch, right? Obviously, it's not a regular match, so hopefully we get to see some gimmicks here.
Well, I mean, let's kind of break this down a little bit, though. I mean, the taser usage. On a map like Cbble, I think probably drop room, very viable option, right?
Long B outside the wall when they're hopping over. You could, there's a couple
of spots. Or like Ricky, close bottom mid, right next to the door. He waits for people to run through.
Long A halls. There we go.
Mag-7.
There's a lot of situations where you could taser someone.
I think we're starting to convince ourselves that this could be a barn burner.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a very close matchup, or it could be more of the same of what we just watched. Either way, we'll be here to bring it to you, but not before a quick break, as there was not just a whole lot to take away from that one. We'll be right back. Join us. We're going to Cbble.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
I got it right, you can't stop the might. You should have took flight, tell them when I bring it home. I'll take the top throne, king when I bring it, I keep them yelling out, yeah. Cause I can smell victory, 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 victory.
There comes a time in most teams' tenure that they run into a roadblock. They run into problems. They run into things that are insurmountable that they cannot overcome. And today, the one major thing that they cannot overcome is the latency. That's right, they're playing with a little above normal average ping. And with that said, we saw the results of that last game on Train. Undoubtedly, we will see more of the same going into Cbble. But here to break this down with me on the Xfinity analyst desk are my friends and James and Eric. Guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Can you give us a scientific explanation of what latency is? So if somebody has 200 ping and somebody else has 20, and they're in the same server shooting at each other, peeking each other, listening to each other's footsteps, what actually happens? What is the disparity?
So when you're living in a place, say in Brazil, and the server happen to be, let's say, LA or Texas, it takes time for the packet to go to the computer and then receive back to you. You can mathematically do it if you want to on your own time. I'm not going in math on the stream. No math.
Just think routing.
Well, let's just say, like, so I have 20 ping, you have 180. There's a difference of 160 milliseconds, right? So that's a difference in time that the information travels back. So that means that what guy in Brazil with 180 ping is seeing on his screen may have happened 160 milliseconds ago. There's obviously some wishy-washy, the way the netcode guide makes up for that, right? So like they try and code it in such a way that that guy might have somewhat of an even playing field. So it can get a little weird if you peak in a certain way. I remember Def on Complexity, he played from UK with 130 ping a few seasons ago and dropped 30 on 3 straight maps against C9. So it's like interesting latency context to consider.
An outstanding thesis there, which you can find more of James in his book, out in stores now at Barnes & Nobles, at a store around you. Go ahead and check that out.
That's definitely not true, but I get the joke. It's really funny.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, you know what's even more of a joke than that?
My haircut?
Well, you said it, all right, because, you know, it's a bad haircut club. It happens. Either way, let's talk about Cbble, because that could be even more of a punchline.
Maybe what they should do is just kill the other team with grenades so they don't have to peek.
That's a good idea.
They should just run with nades and mollies out and try and flash them and get them in a corner and Molotov them to death so they don't have to worry about the ping.
I think so.
I think that's going to be the strategy coming into this map.
5 Molotovs, 1 spot.
Well, you know what's certain to make this more entertaining would be the Betway odds that we can go ahead and bring into the picture, which, you know, as crazy as this might sound, those numbers don't make sense to me, but I'm not a bettor. I don't bet. It's just not what
Somebody please get my laptop. I need to make a submission. Just kidding.
Get it.
Not allowed to do that when I'm standing up here.
Well,
no.
There's a Lenovo Legion laptop right here. We could do that, but we'll save that for another time. Either way, you could tell, and perhaps you missed the last map, there's quite the ping deficit and quite the wall, quite the barrier in terms of getting to that victory.
Yeah, it's...
If I'm Splyce, this is Christmas morning, right? Like, to keep our Pro League spot, and Immortals basically have 1 more matchup. They have 2 more maps after this one, and they need to win one of them to stay in Pro League. Or at least a guarantee, right? They could still... I think they could stay in Pro League with losing out if certain things happen on other matches, but you'd like to have that sense of security.
Well, sense of security genuinely feels good. And feeling good, looking even better, we got Blue and Launders to bring us Cobblestone. You know, guys, I'm sure I caught you a little off guard with that one. That one's fine, but just go ahead and take it from here.
All right, thank you, Stunna. So it is going to be time to jump into Cobblestone, and after the first map, well, yeah, I'm not honestly sure what to expect on this second map now, considering what we saw from the Immortals there.
They'll have to bust out some really unique strategies. I hope to see more 5-op setups. I think that had potentially auto sniper setups as well. Like 5 auto snipers, I feel like would work exponentially better than 5 ops. And then maybe, you know, you should treat it like a game. If you're playing a guy who's aimbotting and matchmaking, you do try to kill them with grenades. Actually, you know, that desk actually had some interesting unexpected value in terms of strategy that Immortals could bring to this match. So I think they should treat it like they're playing cheaters. Because the ping is so severe that they're basically on a much lower tier of Counter-Strike. That's what it feels like, you know?
All right, well, it looks like we are going live, so we'll jump back into it here and see if the Immortals have any hope of fighting for this second map, or if Splyce will be able to take quick control of it again due to Immortals, unfortunately, just not being able to play all that great due to the ping differential here.
I guess the other thing that was surprising is he used one of the harder guns to use on the pistol round in the last half of the first match. 5 Eagles and still won. Whoa.
Oh. What is that? What is that hit rig? Destiny's going to get a kill there, and then Mitch will trade him out a second later. We'll have the rest of Splyce funneling through the tunnels and actually out onto an open site, so Splyce will be able to get a quick plant. And the Immortals train will start chugging over here towards the A site to try and retake. Obviously, it's not going to be looking all that amazing for them, but they got it evenly down to a 4v4 at least, so they have that working for them. But that's going to quickly change. 2 kills going by the way of Splyce. 1 trade from ZQK puts us in a 3v2, but yeah, seconds later, the control goes back into Splyce's hands, as now Steel is left as the lone man left standing, can actually potentially kill Drone, but no, looks away at the wrong moment, and that's going to lead to his death as Splyce take control of the opening pistol.
Once again, I think it's good that Splyce. I think maybe the knife round actually mattered if Splyce were able to pick the T side, because they get to just control the tempo, run out. They know that Immortals will probably make some rash buying decisions, but still go ahead and grab 3 MAC-10s. I wonder where they're gonna try to hit. Looks like A this time, and once again, it is somewhat of a B stack from Immortals.
Drone starts us off well, but Immortals will quickly rotate over now that their 1A player has been defeated. They're pretty much just expecting Splyce to play this very straightforward, which is the correct assumption. And they'll be able to get into the site in time to find at least one trade here. Besides that, it's all Splyce tearing it down. As they're going to set themselves up for a second round here in a second. As soon as they find SHZ and kill him, which actually is going to prove to be a bit of a harder task. He finds another kill on Semphis. And is now looking like he's going to fall back a bit more.
Oh, that's a god tier plant.
It's right out in the open there.
Shiz.
Let's see.
Very seriously.
Let's see the massive clutch that's about to happen right here. All right, never mind. He's just sitting in a corner. There you go. That's one way to start it. He's got an upgraded gun now, though, so he's going to call it off and back away. And we'll eventually just re-peek the door where Davey is going to knock him out. Their Splyce, their second round, a bit messier than I think they expected, but I don't think they're too focused on that at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, they only lost their 3 MAC-10s, so new day for them. Gonna get all their AKs up, and yeah, this is a game where we really need Mumble and TeamSpeak comms. So I feel like they're both. I mean, Immortals will be obviously having less fun, but they're trying to have fun with it, right?
Yeah. They're trying at least to make it somewhat entertaining here.
For the fans.
For the fans.
Gotta appreciate that.
Yeah. And for the fans, well, they're gonna get quite a few trades to start off this round. Afterwards, though, it does, not really anyone's surprise, go back into the control, and apparently Destiny assisted on 2 different teammates there as well. So not sure how that happened, but it happened.
Any more damage, and then he'll be forced to abandon.
That would be great. Happen in these games for whatever reason got left on.
All right, so they've really ironed out their CT side setups. After that first match, some experimentation has led to a good mix of primarily Mag 7s, because that won them rounds, and then also here's an M4 and a CZ.
Ooh. Destiny, he's going to be able to pick up the first kill from close up. However, no additional trades are found. It's all Splyce running over the Immortals once again. Just SHZ left alive as he's going to try to hold with the M4 in the backside. He's actually getting some work done. Those 2 kills even it back down. ZQK, however, will be caught running out on the platform, and Semphis gets the touchdown kill on SHZ with an 8 in hand. Secures it 4-0 for Splyce.
SHZ making a case for the M4 in this situation. And here's a MAC-10 entry out long B. Easy spray down. 4-0 now. Immortals are going to be buying up. Will we see a buy every single round?
That is the ultimate.
How are the bet weight odds so close? Maybe they made their bets yesterday.
So, so I think it's. Oh, all right. That's actually a really good combo with nades right there, too, because I think it was in a molly and then someone HE'd it, and that like killed both of them. So.
Yeah, nades seem to be the answer.
So that works out well. Evens it into a 3v3, and this is an easy kill for SHZ, even at that high ping. Drone, though, did take down another one of his opponents here, so it's kept it down to a 2v2. And yeah, with that kill on Steel, they should already know SHZ is back here. And they have a nice 2-man peek to be able to take him down. Splyce still secure it, but again, getting a little bit close there.
Yep. You know, we're gonna have a half that, a 15-round half that will be buys every single round. It seems like. Win bonus is working out. They're making enough money to supplement future buys with their Mag 7 kills. This is an ecosystem. This economy. It's self-sustaining. The only requirement is you get a couple of kills with the Mag 7 once in a while, and you're really not spending that much money.
So now Splyce line out for the execute again, looking for their way to execute into the site. SHZ will find one trade actually from an op. Interestingly enough, as they have a more of a typical buy this time. However, Splyce still able to manage things. Mitch doing actually a great job of working that MAC-10, and while SHZ will find one more kill, he's now the lone man standing from within the B site. Bomb is actually sitting at the edge of platform right now, but not at a point where SHZ is going to be able to jump up on Broken and see it. He will have to inch forward.
Well, Davey doesn't have support right now, so, I mean, he could just get opt.
Oh. Seen him, though. So I should be able to play this appropriately, but SHZ also playing this pretty smart right now, too. As he holds, he is being pincered now, but he's aware of it. So he's going to play this appropriately. However, eventually Davey does just wide swing to peek him, and that'll take him down. Splyce securing a 6th here against the Immortals. And we go back down to Mag 7 buys again for Immortals. They can't afford anything else, but not the whole team. It's only, it's a little bit different this time, actually. Some FAMASas in there, too.
Seems like they're definitely, you can tell that they're yearning for a win. They're getting sick of losing over and over again. It takes a toll on you. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It just sucks losing, you know?
Yeah. So this, we get 1 kill to start it off. ZQK holds at the door for now, but that second kill that he'll attempt to pick up is going to be a bit too long range for him. Horvey, though, does a bit more work with the FAMAS, but now in a 3v2. Again, we'll see Splyce maintain control as they pick up those last 2 frags and send them soaring forward. Still very much in the lead at this point, 7-0.
Because we got all these buys out every single round, there's just no room for analysis, really. just got to keep casting the action over and over again.
We don't know what Immortals are going to buy next.
It's truly nonstop. I'm running out of breath, Blue.
Is this when the Skathiri kicks in, though?
Oh my god. This would be a true test of the Skathiri, right?
Yeah, especially considering this is the most outlying example of a normal match here. So let's see if it holds true. So far, not so much. Roka has picked up the first 2 opening kills. 0 response, and Roka's just going to continue to DM his way through a long drone. It's a quick kill, and the theory is proved wrong once again. Splyce go up to 8.
Did you ever find that Twitter?
No, I never found that satellite.
Does that Twitter exist is now the question.
It might have been deleted because I think it was like an older satellite thing. That, like it's dead now, but or it's somewhere floating in space, just a hunk of its former self.
What is the point of the satellite? What's it do?
It just sends tweets.
That's it?
No, I don't.
That's what we're spending our money on?
No, I don't know. It's the only thing I knew it did.
It's the most expensive.
I think
tweets.
it might have been that one that. All right, hold on, Immortals getting some kills here. Oh, drone waiting in this position though. Picks up 2 more afterwards. Anyway, back to the point. I think it was that one that was chasing a comet. Forget what it was called.
Chasing a comet.
Yeah, I forget what the satellite was called. It was Europe's satellite, or the European Space Administration. It was their satellite, but
Europeans would. Crazy bunch.
I forget what the satellite was called. I think that was the one that tweeted every once in a while.
What? Just like making sure that the comet doesn't hit us?
What?
What do you mean chasing a comet?
Like they landed, or they landed a rover on a comet.
No way.
A satellite. Yeah.
You can do that?
Yeah.
You pulling my leg right now?
No, they did it. It didn't.
More bro science?
What? No, it's legit science.
They landed on a comet.
I think it crash landed, so it didn't stay. The rover didn't make it very far and didn't gather that much data, but they did successfully somewhat land a rover from a satellite onto a moving comet.
Is this just like the NASA version of Jackass? Let's try to land on a comet today, guys.
What would be the name of that stunt? Is the question. Can't think of one off the top of my head. That would be like bro science name.
Probably there's too many.
Yeah. ZQK gets 2 with the up, and actually Horvey, it's Deagles again that do the work, and well, there we go. Immortals pick up at least 1 round here. Still very much in the lead for Splyce, and they've got infinite cash flow, so they're going to rebuy back into it, but hey, at least they're on the board again, and they don't get 16-0'd.
You just call it the ET prank.
The ET prank?
To me, it would be a prank, but yeah. Because isn't there a scene where he's like in a shopping cart going through space or something? I don't know if that was a shopping cart. Did you watch that movie?
Wait, which?
It was a long time
movie?
ago. It's from E.T.
Oh, yeah, no, I see what you're saying, yeah. I thought we were still talking about Jackass. So.
Yeah, that's the name of the prank, or the name of the stunt.
Gotcha.
Right. Now we're on the same page. Good.
Well, ZQK going hunting with the op. He's got the first kill. Oh, and Destin's going to spot 2, but spams at the wrong position, so he's not going to be able to fully take down anyone from Splyce. Gets knocked out by Roka. That puts us back down into a 4v4. A bit slower pace this time from Splyce, but they do eventually just waltz right up to A and find it completely open for the taking. Nades continuing to broil 4th.
Excuse me?
What?
Nades continuing to broil for 4th?
4th, yeah.
Okay.
Just expanding the vocabulary a little bit there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I guess that would be.
You and your spectacular vernacular.
But Immortals won't be attempting this retake even in a
stretch in the lexicon there, Blue.
Just have a thesaurus next to me, and I'm constantly finding new words.
Just ate a thesaurus.
They actually should do some decent damage here. I don't think they're going to be able to outright retake, but at the very least they make it expensive as Splyce just go hunting. They still have plenty of cash. They can afford to do this to a certain degree, but yeah. 4 of them end up dying throughout the course of the round. Even as they retake control and reset, Immortals' losing bonus. Immortals will keep 4 to 5 of their players alive, so they're still going to be at full strength going into this next round.
And what defines a comet exactly? Because I thought it was a rock with that's moving so fast that there was a fiery trail behind it.
That is correct, yeah.
They landed a shopping cart on a fiery rock flying through space. Is that what you're saying?
A celestial object consisting of a nucleus of ice and dust, and when near the sun, a tail of gas and dust particles pointing away from the sun. So it's not actually fire.
It's not fire, it's ice and dust.
Yeah.
So it's like the opposite.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Almost exactly the opposite. Immortals once again actually holding on to this round after Splyce go for a very chaotic execute towards A long, and it fails outright. So good hold from Immortals. Should be on track to pick up at least a second round here.
They actually had a very healthy last round and have a couple of AKs and are maybe starting to get somewhere.
We'll see what Davey's able to do though in the 1v4. He's still playing this seriously and attempting it. Will end up peeking right into Horvey, who takes him down and does indeed secure that second round for the Immortals. But like I said before, Splyce still have plenty of cash, so there's going to be at least one more full buy from them, probably a second one too.
This team looking like it has potential. They've recovered 2 AKs. They've got 2 ops, trying to figure stuff out. Economy's back on his feet. Splyce down to one of their last buys. 2 rounds in a row. I mean, yeah, as the ping goes up, I mean, we're still in totally broken game territory. But you know, if you play on, say, you played on 200 ping. Oh, is it a little bit better than it was? I don't know.
Slightly. I think it's still around the same spot. It's maybe like 10% better.
But you start to get more used to it. Like Xantaris was talking about how in Turkey their internet's so bad, so they have to play on 130 to 150 ping and like all their scrims and stuff, and then go to LAN. And people talk about how they're online soldiers. Well, it's really hard for them to adjust to playing online with a certain ping, because he was talking about basically how he has to start spraying like early most of the time, just to adapt to the fact that if he peeks out and sprays, he's gonna appear to be way too late. And so you kind of bring on a new way of playing the game. It's not a healthy way of playing the game, but certainly you can get used to it, how different it is.
They've started to correct that. I think they got a team house in Europe now that they can play from too, if they need to go to
Turkey is in Europe, isn't it?
Well, like mainland Europe.
Mainland Europe.
Yeah.
Real Europe.
There's a divide there.
Yeah. Actually, I think that some of my Turkish friends are talking about how like Turkey were trying to decide whether they want to be part of Asia or Europe.
Oh yeah. Well, they're technically in both, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think like half the countries in mainland Europe, half the countries in like the Middle East. So.
Yeah. But that's good that they can practice, because they've got some talent for sure. Ooh.
And they're once again actually holding quite well here on Splyce, is attempting to rush out on platform. They seem to catch, I mean, Immortals constantly just taking these gamble stacks, but whenever they properly gamble stack on the right side, it actually seems to work out well for them. Because once again, they've gotten around based pretty much solely off of that, and having a player positioned well to spray down Splyce rushing out.
It's turning out to be a mad decent half from Immortals, and there, Splyce couldn't even get out of the choke point, so moves are being made right now. Chiz leading the charge. And Splyce looking at their last round here. So it looks like they might actually be just taking this round straight up seriously, walking kind of in their default, making sure not to press the issue. But Drone coming out aggressively into a flash, full blind, and eats dirt.
Yeah, Roka finding a second kill, however, trades it back, brings us down into another even battle here. And besides that, Immortals are pretty spread out across the map, no longer stacking in one point or the other, but the positions they've taken are actually still working out quite well. They've just found a second kill against Splyce. SHZ is ready to take the battle here at mid, but Sempus is going to be able to take him down before he can find any impact here. That will let Splyce go out into the B site, and it's going to leave it relatively open too, especially now that Sempus has found Destiny there. Leaves only 2 standing here from the CT side, now 1. Roka, nice little one tap there to take down Steel. ZQK will do his best to attempt to clutch this as it is the 15th round. But more than likely, we will end up on a 12-3 half. We'll wait and see what exactly ZQK attempts to put together, though.
It's going to
Gonna hold back, and eventually, yeah, Baroka will just push the windowsill, take him down. It's another very dominant opening half here from Splyce as they go up ahead 12-3. Stick with us to see if Immortals can bounce back in the second half, or if Splyce will get a nice 2-0 for this evening.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
All right, and we're back again, guys, and what's been a bit of an interesting matchup here. Splyce, unfortunately, having to play with very high ping. Gone for some interesting strategies here and throughout the course of the series, and Splyce, well, they've pretty much just been walking over it for the most part here. It's 12-3 in our second map at the end of the first half, and Immortals will obviously have to look to do their best and attempt to bounce back here if they want to at least trade 1-1 for the night.
12-3, but they did get those 3 rounds in a row, and they did it on rifle rounds, and they looked honestly pretty good when they did it. So Splyce did have to kind of take them seriously towards the end of the half at the very least. And yeah, it's just really unfortunate because they've got to play on such incredibly high ping that it's just, you know, you just got to do weird stuff. You can't even say that they're fooling around. They're literally just trying to find a way to find an advantage considering their circumstances.
Mm-hmm. That's why we see some of these otter buys as they're trying to do the best with what they have to work with here, which is anywhere between 160 and 250 plus ping, which obviously is going to be relatively unplayable unless you're very much used to that, which we've seen them somewhat get used to it here throughout the course. As you said, they've been slowly kind of getting better and increasing their own performances here and learning how to spray with, 200 ping, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah, it's not even, it's just a guessing game. It's not even really learning at this point. You start to get used to certain things, but like your spray can't be really saved, and the server's just kind of guessing like where your bullets are going and like who's where and stuff, and it gets ugly, man. It gets ugly.
Yeah,
it's gotten ugly. It is ugly.
Well, it could get uglier, or it could get slightly better looking here, depending on the result of the pistol round. If they can steal that away again, then all right, maybe they can slowly try to bargain their way back into this match. But if not, that should send Splyce basically right up to 16 rounds. They're already at 13 here, or excuse me, they're already at 12. So winning those 3 rounds would put them right up to map point, and then just one gun round would basically seal the deal for them. So Splyce is still in a very good position. And if once again they come out on top of the pistol, like we saw in the first half, then they'll pretty much have the map already secured and an easy, actually 2-0 for them to push them further up in the rankings and potentially leave Immortals in relegation.
Yeah, this would be a big win. I mean, regardless of the circumstances, it is a very important match. As highlighted by the desk, that both these teams are worried about relegation. Immortals are a team that's not supposed to be worried about relegation, but because of their recent roster changes and their core leaving the team, they're in a position where they're just, they're gonna lose most of their matches, and not only because of the quality of the players, but the time that they spent together. And Splyce are kind of in the same boat, so tough sledding here. Tough sledding.
All right, well, let's jump into it and take a look, guys.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, those odds look more accurate now. 10-1 odds if Immortals somehow bounce back. That I'd say is pretty good.
Do you know how those odds work? Like how the halftime betting?
It definitely has to do with stats, as far as I know. I don't know for like the actual algorithm, but it definitely like is like a mathematical thing that they calculate based on like stats and matchup history and things like that. Horvy's actually going to start things off. This is what worked for them in the last map, the 5 deagle buy. And they started it off well again by picking up a first kill against Davey. Not only that, but in a moment here, they're about to just rush right onto the B site, which is relatively undefended. They've got 2 players on the CT side still positioned over towards the A site and pretty deep into the A site too. In fact, they're pushing out now, probably going to try to look for a flank, but that may not even become relevant if these deagles just burst out and instantly take down Roka, along with Drones, who's still sitting here defending. Definitely going to want to move a little bit quicker upon that flank, especially now they're being tested as Horvy gets the 2nd kill here now and finds the 3rd one. There you go, Horvy just tearing through the site. And in the 2v5, it's not likely that Splyce are going to come back from this. I'll hold my judgment for a moment here. Semphis still continues to fight this, and oh. ZQK spinning around, tries to make something happen. Actually, because they do that, all of a sudden, it's gone down to a 2v2. Steel might fall here as well. They're both one-tappable, though. That's the only thing that Destiny has working in his favor at this point. Besides that, he's been surrounded in a 2v1, finds the first kill. Just one more bullet needed to connect, but again, he's at high HP. He's also low, and Mitch is going to be able to take him down. He ends up with a massive 3K on the pistol, and should have plenty of time to defuse this bomb and send Splyce up to 13.
At least considering that it seems like Splyce are probably going to win this map, but it's probably nice for both them and a blessing in disguise for Immortals that they get it done with and over sooner rather than later. But what a round from Horvy. These 2-1-Ds, insane stuff. And if someone's not moving, it doesn't really matter what ping they have if you're aiming the right spot, right? Yeah,
pretty much. That works out either way. So expected force buy on the 2nd round of the half from Immortals as they just force into it here.
Oh, shoot.
It's a nice smoke. But it's not going to be the site that they'll execute upon. They're actually going to rush through mid-connector. And the smokes, if someone worked, Bitch is going to hear this and have to try and fight at close quarters here. Thankfully, he's got Roka to bail him out, but he's the one picking up all the kills. Finds 3 before finally going down, and wow, the round ends actually very quickly after we see those rotates coming from Splyce. They lose 2 of their own players, but they still secure it. And that puts them up to 14 now, and Immortals will be on even, well, they get together an ump at least on the Horvy, but besides that, this is going to be upgraded pistols and armor again.
Yep, whatever they can do. Probably just looking to get kills if they can find them, and that's about it. UMP going to be the best gun. Let's see what the strategy is. Smoke out to B. All of them running out here. Counter nades to kick it off, so drop's going to be shut down. They run through it because YOLO.
Pretty much. 3-for-1 trade. Worth it, I guess. And Davey now pushes forward. He's got the Mag 7 all of a sudden here. Misses the first shot onto SHZ, but is still going to be able to close out as that puts them up to map point 15-3 here versus the Immortals, who now have to try and win 12 rounds straight with this ping if they want to take this to OT, which I think is a safe bet to say that that's unlikely.
Yeah, seems very unlikely. Now, Immortals have really got to step it up, because this is one of their worst showings of the whole season. They've actually bought a ton of nades, gone right back to pistols, and are starting to use them.
I think in terms of a track record, they've actually been pretty successful with these pistols, so it's not too far out of the realm of reality to see them try to buy these on their final round. Davey, though, is still going to be able to spam in. Only gets the 1 kill from back there, but yeah, Roka will move in from the backside on the flank and finish things off relatively quickly, so not really a surprise, but there you have it. Splyce dominate once again on the 2nd map and are able to take control and, more importantly, take a 2-0 victory for the night, which is going to give them 6 points in the rankings, pushing them forward a little bit, and for the Immortals, they will get nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's such a crazy game. It's so hard to figure out exactly what happened. It's like, you know, I try to watch Rick and Morty, I can't understand it. And this game, I think, is just right up there in terms of how much IQ I need to unpack it. So I can't wait to find out what our analysts have to say about this and see if they can give us some gems.
And I believe that they will be standing by now. So let's take it over to the analysts to break down this series, or at least make an attempt at it.
You know, we could start probably a few different places. I think, honestly, we talked about grenade usage and how that could come from.
Actually, I talked about it and how it would be a good idea, and then they got a double molly kill. Thank you for stealing the credit there. What I want to talk about is this long-distance relationship that ESEA has with Immortals here. I don't know if it's working out. That ping, it's going to have to be a lot of love to see that one through.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? You know, you try so hard, you put so much effort, and then they just don't care.
Just give us like a basic proverb here. Like, give us something. Try so hard and got so far.
But in the end,
every match matters.
Yeah, it really does. And it's just so sad that they have to have that high of ping.
Yeah.
We should probably keep just beating that point to death, that they just have bad ping. Just keep talking about it.
I haven't said anything.
Going skiing.
All right. Well, that's just about where we stop that one at. Either way, guys, not a whole lot to take from the Splyce Immortals matchup, given the settings of everything that was going on there. Obviously, there was quite a bit of latency involved, and you could see it, albeit rather in the reaction times or the strategies invoked thereof the Immortals. And guess what? We have to go into another 2 maps right now, 2 totally different teams. We're going to be jumping into Complexity and Counter Logic Gaming. Now, this will be a much closer bout.
How do you know?
Can you tell the future?
I can see the future, and I scripted all of this. None of this is real. I wrote all the scores of every round of every match. The simulation.
You're a mastermind. You have so many plot twists.
Plot twist. Yes, you're right. But I have no more plots, and there's no more twists to take. But you can take a twist here. If you have one of those ergonomic keyboards, you can type in youtube.com/ESLCS. Grab one of those VODs, watch something, learn something. Maybe not the last one we just watched, but perhaps a different one. You know what, James? What matchup would you recommend to the viewer at home to watch if they were going to watch a match at youtube.com?
In the past? Or, because obviously I'd recommend this one coming up, because this is going to be a good match featuring 2 good oppers on Train and Mirage, both op-heavy maps, especially in the NA scene.
I like it. No, I think CLG.
But a match in the past, probably the last one we just watched, really exciting, innovative play coming out.
Literally everything opposite that I said, but it's fine. It's fine. We're doing just fine here. We've got 2 more days left this week, and that will be closing out for the Pro League. However, we're not even going to go to the next day until we get done with these next 2 matches right here. We've got 2 best of ones, and for 2 different reasons, both of these teams need to come out and have something to show for themselves. But there will be a slight adjustment to the scheduling, and we will be kicking off the next one at 5:40 Pacific time. So if you're not here, then there's something, I don't know.
That's earlier than usual, right?
There must be something pressing. Well, both teams agreed, and I think, yeah, it's usually...
Was that because the other games weren't very close?
Or quickly?
Like they got...
Listen, I'm not League Ops, and I'm not going to pretend to be League Ops, but if I had to take a guess, it would be because those games were done in a hastily fashion. So, with that being said, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back, jumping into our next one, Complexity and Counter Logic Gaming. So make sure you're here with us.